Welcome to the Talking SHHH podcast. That's right. We'll be talking about music, albums, live shows, bands we love, bands not so much. Again, we're talking SHHH. Join me, Scott Nokon, and Stephen James. Hey guys, we are back. This is Scott, Stephen James, and Chris is back, our infrequent guest. And Chris is enjoying in an undisclosed location. He is on a deck on a nice beach.
I've got a Mai Tai in my Simpsons mug. This is
nice. Yeah, it's definitely the way to live.
Something.
I know just before we hit play or record, I guess if we hit play, that would be weird. But hit record, we were talking about, or at least I heard you guys start talking about the weather. So I'm out in Nashville area. You guys are on the West Coast. And Stephen, you made a comment about it being cold.
Yeah, let's hear where your cold is.
No, it was 72 today.
72
in Nashville?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't think it was that hot in LA today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it made it that high. I think it was 62.
Yeah. So it drops 30 degrees tomorrow, and we have severe weather coming through, which, last time we were recording, Stephen, I got knocked off the air and came back on because of that. And it's the wind's blowing, we're like in this wind tunnel that comes through. So if you have any small children or older, grandparents that are still, kind of moving around, it's like, you better get inside,
Right.
I was in Chicago for Christmas, and I think the temp was the same as it was here in Southern California.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day.
That's warm for winter Chicago.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Now, when I left, it was like 13 degrees. So the last couple of days, it got super cold. But yeah, it's been rainy and not all that great here.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed it. It was like Thanksgiving, it rained. I was like, thank you. It's not 80 degrees out. It's like, let's have a winter holiday that's cold and rainy and shitty out.
Yeah.
My wife calls it 80-degree Thanksgiving, and she hates every minute of it. She loved the rain and the overcastness. It felt like the Midwest. So,
no, absolutely. Yeah. Who knows what the next week the weather will be like. It's 72 today.
My mom and my brother live up in Walla Walla, Washington on the east side. Typically they get snow several times a year. They've had like one minor dusting, and it's like most of it's just been rain. So
wasn't Walla Walla a big deal in Rocky and Bullwinkle? Didn't they talk about it a lot?
I have to go back and look. I haven't watched a Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It was that and What's the Matter You?
What's pulling the rabbit out of my head?
Hey, Rocky.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the weather, whether or not you like it. We kind of go into those different topics. But today, and I don't know if this will end up being a popular episode just amongst the three of us or not. We'll find out. But best rock and metal intros of all time. So we didn't compare notes. Purposely, I have a list here that we'll go through. It doesn't necessarily need to be in any particular order, which is fine. And in that, we're just kind of going to go through it. Again, is it something that does it set a mood? Is there some identity? Does it kind of get the adrenaline flowing when you hear that for the first time? Is it unrecognizable? Two notes and you go, I know who that is. With no doubt.
I'm curious what everybody's idea was of an intro. As in, did it require something unique, or not unique, but different than you'd hear from a standard just song that you like? Was it because a riff, as we talked about, Scott, is a totally different show to a degree. I'm interested to hear kind of the criterion that everybody had. That's always
maybe a little open-ended. And I do appreciate, so Chris is always keeping us, on our straight and narrow to a point, right? Of saying, well, and if anything, defining the criteria. I think it's a better
Which is weird, because I'm totally not that guy normally.
No, not at all. But it's good to say, all right, in this instance, like when we did the show a couple of weeks ago, which thank you guys for tuning in and watching it and leaving some comments. Got a lot of good reaction on TikTok. The Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan piece had quite a few comments of people kind of calling us old
really?
and not knowing anything about basketball. I didn't partake in any back and forth comments.
I would like to see that feedback, by the way. I was not privy to that.
Yeah, so I will share that. But in that instance, I'm not even sure where I was going on that, but the criteria as far as when it came to songs and albums you would take with you on a deserted island, which Chris may be at right now, is
yes, I am.
Only one. You can only represent an artist once. There's no best of. There's no live records, which essentially could be a best of, which I think is a fair reference. And from there, we all kind of wavered in and out. You stuck to that, Chris, which was good. So in this, when it comes to an intro, again, I kind of hit on it a little bit, but does it set a mood? Is it that first, riff? Is it, like a little drum piece? Is it some sound effect? I think any of that can kind of fall into an intro. And as we go through, I am interested, and just for, why not, I'll just kind of pick up and give you my first selection in no particular order. Hell's Bells from AC/DC.
Oh.
The bell toll, slow build riff
is
basically kind of the stadium entrance ritual, right? You just can see kind of people moving in. It kind of set the tone, kind of the announcement when it went into the whole post Bon Scott era. I think that was kind of, you kind of see like a movie opening with that and the screen opening up. That's kind of how you can, at least for me, envision that.
I think I'm right there with you. And one of the funny things for me was as I was thinking of these, it's kind of all the same bands come to mind, right? Uh-huh. So it's almost impossible to do this list and say you can only name one band once. And AC/DC is the perfect reason for that.
Yeah.
Because they have so many. I mean, I'm sure you're going to touch on them as we go, but it was hard to deviate from AC/DC, hard to deviate from Metallica, hard to deviate from a lot of bands that are, I think, kind of intro bands. That's part of their DNA.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that's the hook, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole idea. Is a hook.
But it's interesting that so many bands don't do that.
Yeah,
there's just a ton of great bands that you never hear anything like that from.
Yeah,
but to your point, Hell's Bells.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The record Back in Black, 27 times plus platinum in the US alone, 45 million worldwide. So one of the biggest records of all time for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. One of the greatest albums of all time, without a doubt. Again, I think I've touched on this before. The thing I love the most about that album is the most popular song is my least favorite song of the whole, the whole thing.
Yep, I remember you said that. That's
I remember that too.
You're if that means
all right. So we're gonna stay along that line. We can only mention it once, since you mentioned it once. Can I mention it once with AC/DC?
You can mention it, yeah.
Sure.
But we didn't share notes, so
Mine is still AC/DC, but it goes to Bon Scott. And now it's Dirty Deeds. It's got that that what's going on.
I didn't even think about that one. Oh,
yeah. Which is one of my favorite songs to play on drums. I mean, it's fairly simple. Phil Rudd played meticulously like a metronome, but that song really stuck with me. That it kind of changed up a little bit through each verse and to each chorus, and that one for AC/DC is Dirty Deeds. That just is the Bon Scott era. I like the Brian Johnson era only up until the end of Back in Black, and after that, I don't like the Brian Johnson era.
But I think there's a lot of people that have that same opinion, right?
I think there's a few. So I think I honestly, when I got into AC/DC as a youth, was during the Brian Johnson era. And then I went backwards, which of course, like everyone else, now I can appreciate the Bon Scott era much more than I ever did. But
I had to think for a second what the intro was. Sorry.
For Dirty Deeds?
Yeah. It sounded like Beavis and Butthead. That's cool.
Yeah, cool stuff. That's cool. I have to, because I have so many AC/DC songs on here.
I do too.
I'm going to break. Are we trying to go top to bottom, or are we just?
If you like the top, go with the top. If you like the bottom, go with the bottom.
I mean, God, I'm going to go with "Say What You Will" by Fastway. That to me is one of the
Such
ultimate
a good
intro
record.
songs.
There we go.
You know,
Yeah,
and just a great album. Period.
Yeah, and sorry, you're a big fan of Fastway. I know you've said that on multiple occasions. And really, that's such a good record. I remember if that was an 82 or 83 when that came out. I know we can easily fact check that, but I remember I got that for Christmas, that record. And I think I got Saxon at the same time.
Yeah. What a great band.
That to me was one of the classics. So
that is a good record, yeah.
I was in junior high when that album came out.
But it just has the whole thing, and maybe it's just a riff because it's like but
what I liked about that mix is that you could hear it wasn't muddied. Like everything was really bright. The vocals, the guitars, the drums, the bass, you literally could hear everything, which made it that album. I mean, that guy's voice, holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Holy crap. I mean, almost bluesy in a sense, I think. And what I took away from it with that really heavy rock, I remember like, it was AC/DC, Kiss, whatever. And then when I heard Fastway, I was like, wow, this is so fucking cool. Such a good album.
Someone better put Kiss on this list.
So I know you guys know this because you're a fan of the band, but when you break it down, you had Fast Eddie Clarke on guitar, right? Former Motorhead. You had Pete Way from UFO. The drummer's not mentioned, but yeah, they had a lot of past members. But yeah, definitely. That's right. Yeah. Fast Eddie died in 2018. So was Dave King the vocalist? I guess he was during that record. He's the name I wouldn't even like.
Yeah.
No.
Who?
Yeah.
There is a little known horror film, and I think it's called Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
About it's a metal guy who's a slasher, and there's a little known fact, but who's the guy from Wasp? Blackie Lawless was up to play the villain in that film. And they had already signed Fastway to do the soundtrack, and he insisted on doing the soundtrack for the movie. And they said, no, we've already done, signed Fastway to do the whole thing. They've already written songs. And so he bowed out of playing the killer because they couldn't do the soundtrack. So
interesting.
This for a little fun fact. So Dave King, singer of Fastway, he was also the front man of a Celtic punk band by the name of anyone?
Dropkick Murphys.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh,
Flogging Molly.
Oh, Flogging Molly.
Shit.
I've actually heard of them. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know who they are.
Who'd have thunk it?
No. So little extra trivia for you. We gave some Trick or Treat and a little Flogging Molly.
See how deep we get here? See how deep we get here on this show?
Yeah.
That was deep. Definitely deep cuts.
All right. There's a couple probably really obvious ones, but I'm going to skip those for right now. Again, no secret that this is one of my favorite records, if not the favorite record I have of all time. And this song I listened to again this morning in my drive to work, which kind of sets my mood for the day. But this intro, for sure, you just know what's coming, and it just kind of builds up to it. But it's kind of calm, then violent. Kind of done perfectly, I think. Battery from Metallica.
Oh yeah. Well, Metallica could be on this list probably 400 times.
Yeah.
I
was saying
succumb to that.
Yeah. My wife, Melissa, goes, what's your topic? She, I appreciate that. She cares. She goes, so what's your topic tonight for the pod? I go, best rock and metal intro. She goes, you had to pick that topic, right? Yeah. But she goes, oh, it's nothing else, like without even pausing. So yeah, nothing else matters, right? And I go, I don't have it on my list. And she goes, it was in the wedding,
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was an awesome lead-in wedding song. And what was really interesting was nobody, at least in our row, even recognized it to begin with. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
What? And everyone's like, what? And I'm like, you don't know this is Nothing Else Matters? You should have seen their faces.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me too. So that was cool. Yeah,
that was very cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. Did you have to get the kids to agree to that, or was that your insistence, or was
not
it,
at all?
I
awesome. Had nothing to do with it until I heard it, and then I'm like, and it was the different version. It was I don't know if it was the San Francisco Orchestra, like they did that whole thing on that one record. I don't know if it was that version, but it was definitely more subdued, but yeah, I think
there's a
excellent
really
choice.
toned down version of Wasted Years by Iron Maiden that I've heard on a credit roll from time to time
Really?
in shows. Yeah. But when you hear it, it's like, oh my God, this is great. And I think that's how you know what a great song is, right? You can play it at any level, at any tone, at any speed, and it still sounds just as awesome.
Yeah.
I think of the 80s bands, almost all of them had a killer intro, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And you can spot on, pick one out. You're like, oh yeah, that's a great intro. That's a great intro. I know that the flash that Scott had sent, and I saw that Stairway to Heaven was a part of it, and I was like, no, it's a great song, but it's to me it's a pop. But hey, IMO in my opinion.
No, and
we're gonna stick.
Please, yeah.
We're stick to the Metallica. And this one's going to be a really offshoot. Well, I don't know how much of an offshoot. It comes from And Justice for All. And one of my favorite intros is Frayed Ends of Sanity. It's got the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That was one off that album that really popped, because even just the beginning with the drums didn't even come into it, and then when they went into that Wizard of Oz Lucky Chant, whatever the fuck it was like, oh, that is so good. And then when they come out of it, it's just a completely different song. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that is killer. Yeah, that's definitely, there's we could probably sit here for 6 hours
easily,
which we won't, but
I think we could do a whole show on Metallica intros.
We could,
right? Maiden, for anybody.
Sure. Good choice there, Stephen.
I'm going to keep the zigzag on mine. And I'm going to go, oh gosh, it's one or two. I'm going to pick, since we were just talking about the 80s, I'm going to go with Into the Fire by Dokken.
Into the Fire.
As it kind of has that melodic, slow build up, and then bang. And I think Dokken was one of the lesser known bands that always had a pretty cool intro to their songs. As we sit here, it seems like that was kind of an 80s metal-ish thing.
Funny story about Don Dokken. After they had kind of broke up, there was a bar in Torrance that I used to frequent, and he would go there too. And then he was looking for a drummer, and he and I started talking, and we're almost going to collab. And then he just disappeared. It was like, okay, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. George Lynch, though, what a freaking amazing guitar player for that band.
Oh my God. Yes.
And Don's voice was actually pretty good back then. I mean, he did did he do the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2?
It was Dream Warriors. Yeah.
Dream Warriors. Yeah. He lived not too actually far from me in Redondo Beach, but interesting guy. But yeah, totally.
He had a great voice, and that Dream Warriors soundtrack was awesome, and that whole album that they did for that was one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah, that's definitely an offshoot for sure.
Yeah,
good pull. Yeah. Good pull. All right, Scotty, no con.
All right. So let's see. I'm just flipping through my list. I don't want to be too obvious on some of these, but it's kind of hard now.
Yeah.
So again, debut record from Van Halen, Running with the Devil. The siren sound, it kind of just, had that whole swagger, that tone kind of set the attitude. Even before you got to the riff, right? You just had that sound. So that definitely stands out as something that, you hear it once and you never forget. And you're like, oh yeah.
And every time you hear it.
Yeah. One of the cool things I like about that song is Michael Anthony comes in with that bass thing. And then right before they come in, Eddie does that little piano thing. And then they go right into it. I mean, it's those little things. I'm like, oh, that's
yes,
cool.
Indeed.
Yeah,
it's the little things in life, man. Those are the biggies,
the nuances. Hell yeah, good. Yeah, awesome. Running with the Devil.
Yeah,
I know it's your favorite Van Halen album, Scott. So I guess I didn't pick a Van Halen. I could.
I didn't either, honestly. But now that I'm thinking about it, I could have easily picked 4.
Now, probably. If we were doing riffs, which I think there's a distinction between an intro and a riff.
There is.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Unchained would be the riff. And that to me is probably, and I think we talk about this in an upcoming episode, right? I think we do riffs.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that one out there now that would definitely be, I can't say, and again, I love that we don't necessarily have to rank them, but there's a number of reasons that will always just hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I think the riff part is it's a good point, because there's one song in particular I can think of that I had a hard time with this, like not putting it on this list. But the riff is so great that you can't put it as an intro in my mind. I won't even say what it is.
It's Unskinny Bop, isn't it?
It is not.
Okay.
But you're very close.
Right. I was going to say, oh, crap, we have the same one, but no. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Stephen James.
Okay, let's go. Let's pull an Iron Maiden. Now, I don't know if this is a riff or if this is a intro, but Where Eagles Dare, that drum intro.
Yeah, that's a total intro.
Yeah, I consider that an intro and not a riff.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too, because to me a riff is a guitar, but that's not necessarily. But yeah, that intro, those drums, even a couple times I've seen him do it live. It's such an intricate, simple drum thing to play. People you see people on the internet, they're like, oh, I think he's doing it this way, and I'm like, just watch him do it. It's awesome. But that just lights that whole song up. It gives it so much. It's like a firework, that drum thing, and it just goes boom.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite intros from Maiden, Where Eagles Dare, for sure.
Nice.
I was going to go Maiden here, but to not be Maiden, I'm going to switch up and go to one of our bands that we talked about earlier, and I'm going to go with Detroit Rock City by Kiss.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, just the build up too of if you listen to the studio album, not the live album, obviously, but if you get the kind of,
the studio play, kind of cool because it starts soft, it just builds, and then it's in your face. Yeah, great fucking song.
So that's my Kiss pick for the evening.
Nice,
great song.
I do not have a Kiss pick. I do, though, since we did skip, I'll go to Maiden on this one, so it's not Maiden. But for me, I selected The Trooper. Kind of has that instant gallop, so that just jumps right in as his intro.
That's, for sure. I mean, to say one of my favorite Maiden songs is like picking 20 of my favorite Maiden songs, but that's just an incredible opening, incredible intro.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's something. I mean, again, we could do a complete Iron Maiden catalog.
We could,
riff intros.
You could do a whole show on AC/DC, Iron Maiden, and Metallica without a doubt.
Absolutely,
by themselves,
easily. All right, I'm going to throw a curveball here. I'm going to go with Pantera.
Okay.
Ooh.
And my favorite intro is a song called "Primal Concrete Sledge." I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Yeah.
I've never even heard it.
So Ben, the drummer, it's this great song. He doesn't hit the snare. Well, he does in the middle and during a little bit of a bridge, but the beginning of it, there's no snare drum. He's using the hi-hat as the snare beat. It's such an incredible intro, and that's got that that thunderous freaking big gigantic drums that he used. So, Chris, when you get a chance, plug that.
I was going to say, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna turn it on. It's such a
killer song.
You're going to have to text me the name of it again, because I won't even remember.
I will.
Too many chair shots, but yeah, I definitely want to hear it.
I was going to say Walk. That's like trendy or popular. I wanted to go with something that was a little off beaten path.
So I'm not admittedly huge Pantera guy, but there is a song that I think has one of the most incredible intros, and it's not on my list, but it's the only song I've ever heard by them that's kind of melodic and I'll think of it here in a second. No.
Oh, okay.
God damn. How do I not remember that now? You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Welcome to
and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Is it my turn? You guys keep talking while it's because I gotta.
Yeah, I'll pick it up from here.
Oh, it's Cemetery Gates. That's what it is.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not my pick.
But that was
Great
the one
tune.
you were thinking of. Yeah. So go ahead.
That was my Pantera song I was thinking of.
Yeah.
My pick is, you guys are gonna hate this one. And I don't particularly like this song, honestly, but I'm a big fan of the band.
Okay.
But Money for Nothing by the Dire Straits. So
I mean, we all grew up with MTV, and that definitely played quite a bit. And
it's a super popular intro that I don't know. It came
Mark
to me.
Knopfler's a great guitar player too. I mean,
he is an incredible guitar player.
How he would just pick it, it just sounded really good.
I don't even know how he does that, but
and he managed to get Sting to sing along in the middle of the song.
As the non-music guy on a music show, this is the kind of shit that impresses me. So
I mean, you don't have to be a musician to appreciate, good music.
Well, it's kind of basic though. That's kind of a paint by numbers song, but I don't know. It just jumped out to me when I heard intros.
So good.
No, absolutely.
So good. Very good.
All right. So
Gotti.
Back, this is probably at least on my list, the oldest track here. From Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb.
Yeah. Oh.
Kind of just, kind of a cinematic. There we go. That's better. I said it correctly. Cinematic. Intro. It's not one of those that kind of punches you in your face. More kind of just kind of sets the mood. But, in that is something that you remember, something that kind of stays with you. Certainly, The Wall, one of the biggest selling records of all time. It's impactful. Pink Floyd, a band that's probably sits right around, in my top 10, number 7. So have a lot of the records, listen to them, like throwing them out on the old turntable and just kind of sit back. And
that's pretty mellow for you, dude. I'm actually kind of surprised you're a Floyd guy. I did not picture you being that.
No, I will hit Floyd. I will hit, Radiohead, and then I'll come back to Lamb of God. And so I sway somewhat, but not too much. But there's a few bands that kind of are definitely contrarian to what I would follow in a normal setting.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Your sound dropped out a little bit, Scott. Yeah.
I must have been comfortably done.
It was his voice dropping from the Pink Floyd.
Is this better? Did it make a difference?
Don't swallow
so much deeper. So much sexier.
Wait, we're on video.
There you go. I'm gonna turn the tide to Ozzy. If you could guess, what do you think it would be?
I would guess Crazy Train.
Now you're really soft.
Yeah,
I can barely hear you.
I need to get hard again.
Now you're really hard.
I would guess Crazy Train.
Negative.
You're really not that hard, actually.
Mine is Bark at the Moon.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, because it just slams fast. It's got drums, bass, guitar, the Jakey Lee guitar riff.
Yep.
And it just sings the whole time. So that to me is, and believe me, that's a tough one because I like a shit ton of Ozzy. So was like, oh, which one do I want to do? And I was like, the first thing that popped into my head was Bark at the Moon.
No, that's great.
Well, Ozzy's another one you could do. We could do a whole show on
exactly.
Intros. Hold on.
Exactly.
I'm about to give another band that we could do a whole show on intros, I think, but I'm going to tell a story beforehand if you guys can indulge me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know how much you guys have ever followed wrestling before, but there used to be he's not a wrestler anymore, but if you've ever heard of Triple H, who was a very big, wrestler in the, particularly the Attitude Era in the early 2000s. So, he was trying to get an intro song for himself, getting ready for WrestleMania. I don't remember which one it was, but he was working with the producers and the music guys and everything. And they have a main music producer that usually, because they don't want to pay rights for actual songs for them to come out to, they make their own. Yeah. And they have one guy who does everything. And he kept saying, I'm trying to get a sound like this particular band. And they couldn't get it. And he finally said, look, I want it to sound just like these guys. And they said, oh, well, why don't we call them and have them do you a song? And he was like, that's a fucking option? And they said, yeah, it absolutely is. And that song turned out to be a song called The Game by Motorhead.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know if you've ever heard it or not.
I've heard it.
If you haven't, or if you have, and it doesn't make you want to run through a wall, then you don't have a fucking pulse.
No.
So the intro to that song is probably the most heart-pumping thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And is it one of my favorite Motorhead songs? No. Do I love Motorhead? Yes. Do I love the fact? And they actually played it live for his intro at whatever WrestleMania it was when they debuted it.
Nice.
So they were there behind him as he came out. But yeah, that song intro wise is like I said, if it doesn't make you want to run through a wall, you don't have a pulse, or you know no balls or whatever. So that's my next pick.
No, that's awesome. All right, I will go with and then we mentioned Ozzy, but we haven't mentioned this band. So Black Sabbath and War Pigs.
Oh.
Intro, sounds like the end of the world's approaching, right?
Yeah, it sounded like that to me too.
It's a given intro.
And really from them, it's like it's been said, so many times, but I it's worth mentioning. Again, they didn't just create heavy metal, though maybe that's another show to debate. But if anything, they gave it atmosphere, menace, and meaning. And again, you put that on and you just can visualize a lot just in that intro.
Absolutely. I would argue that might be the greatest intro of any song of all time. If we were to have to pick, if a gun was to my head and I was given the options, I think that may be the greatest intro of any song ever. Certainly on my list.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done. I'm gonna jump over to the band Queen, which I was texting you guys a day or two ago.
Yes.
It's actually a song that one of the bands I was in the 80s, we had a cover of, which is one of my favorite Queen songs. It's called Stone Cold Crazy. Mm-hmm. And I think Metallica did a cover of that, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. So I want to take the credit that we did it before Metallica did, although it didn't really amount to much. But
we're giving you the credit, though, Steve, for sure.
It's such a good rock tune. And I actually, real quick, turned my brother on to We Will Rock You, that there's an actual fast rock version of that song that is pretty fucking badass.
Really?
And yeah. It's I don't know if they did it before they slowed it down. I probably have to read up on it, but YouTube We Will Rock You Fast, and you'll be like, what the hell? It's great. It's a great rock tune.
I'll check that out for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to text you these.
Okay.
Yeah, Steven, you gotta send a bunch of texts after this show, because I need to listen to a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it's a good tune. So Queen, Stone Cold Crazy. That was my right curve instead of left curve.
I'm gonna break to one of the bands that we talked about that we could do a whole show on. And I had it down to 2, even though it's pretty impossible to have it down to 2. But I'm gonna go with Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Which, if you know the song, the first time I ever heard it was live, and it has never sounded the same when I listen to the studio version. And I think even if you tell Siri, hey, pull up, play Fear of the Dark, they will play the live version from Flight 666. And we were just talking earlier about, and my daughter doesn't know this, so I hope she doesn't watch it, but I bought her tickets to see Iron Maiden in September.
Nice.
We were just talking about before. And the thing she's always said to me is, oh my God, Dad, I want to see Fear of the Dark live. And it's just, the intro to that song and before it cuts loose is just, it's powerful. So that would be my pick.
Great song. Definitely a great song.
Could have picked 100 Iron Maiden songs for intros, but that one, you're out.
We can't.
Hello?
Barely.
I need a 2-second bio break. Can I go use the restroom real quick?
Yes.
While you fix your audio?
Yeah, your sound is completely dropped up.
Yeah, it's gone, dude.
Unless you're mouthing, yeah. It's slowly been going like this. You started out really good, and then it just has slowly been dropping out. Even when it's up to your face, I can't even hear you. I don't think that mic is very sure. Negative. You tried plugging another mic in and didn't.
No.
Does your laptop
write on a notepad, Scott, and tell us what you're
sign language? Does your laptop have an external mic?
Mine does, Steven, in case you're wondering.
That's what I'm using with mine. Well, no, actually, I do have a microphone, but a couple times I've used the Mac microphone is equally good. So,
hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You want to I don't know how much free time you have. I don't have any.
What's free time?
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me.
I've always wanted to try to learn how to play the drums.
I'll show you. You have a drum set?
No, I do not. I used to, but I had to get rid of it for size restraints. I had one in my garage.
I used to have this big, Scott remembers it. In one of the videos, I have this big, gigantic double bass drum. It's like, that was what I played for my whole career. And then I was like, I don't need all that anymore. And so I sold it. And the drum set that I have now is by DW, but it's called DWE. So it's an electronic convertible. So I can take the electronics out of it and make it into an acoustic kit.
Oh, nice.
And that's what I actually used to record one of the songs on the latest EP that Scott put out.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, shit.
Well, one of these days, if I ever get any more time, fucking feel you. You got a little bit of time to go there, buddy.
How about now?
Yeah, okay. You're breaking out the old school mic.
Yeah, but what it is, I have a preamp in the battery down.
That's what you get for preamping.
Yeah.
And using 9-volt batteries.
That's what it requires.
Still kind of super extremely low.
Well, because I was holding it down here.
Oh.
Better?
I got to rock out like
that. Oh, the overmodulating sounds amazing.
So, all right. So that was fun. And we can either edit it out or just leave it in. I think we just leave it
why not?
I think we just leave it in.
That could be all natural.
All right.
Did you guys have any more? If not, I will use did a quick little query, ChatGPT, since you mentioned, Chris, what was the greatest intro of all time, which remind me what you said again was the greatest intro of all time.
War Pigs.
Yes. So let's see. Are you interested in what ChatGPT believes is?
I am interested to see what they consider the greatest intro of all time.
Okay. So
provided it's in the metal rock genre.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck if it's like in country or
no.
whatever.
So this
Jelly Roll.
Greatest intro of all time was the prompt, which was a weak prompt, if you guys know about prompts and AI, but it knew who we were, so it ties it into it. Greatest intro of all time, Hell's Bells, AC/DC.
Okay.
Why It Stands Alone, instant recognition, one bell toll. That's it. Everyone knows. Mood setting, ominous, massive, ceremonial before a single riff. Band identity, only AC/DC could make silence plus bell feel this heavy. Replay power, people rewind just to hear the opening again. Cultural impact, stadium entrances, sports walk-ons, film TV cues. As Stephen walked away,
I would agree with that. And interestingly, to me, it's not my favorite AC/DC intro, but I wrote a script about 25 years ago, and in the climax moment of the film, that's the song. Just because of the pace that
that's had a good cadence.
It's and again, it's a climax moment song. It's a song where if you see that in a film, you know shit's about to go down. Like that's to me, my favorite AC/DC song of all time is For Those About to Rock. And I consider that to have a great intro as well. Not the same, but to me, that's the most unique song they ever did. And they don't do a whole lot of unique songs. That's a pretty, every song sounds the same. I don't know how they figure it out. They do it.
Yeah, really.
But I couldn't argue with that.
I would argue.
Yeah, let's hear the next one.
Yeah, the next. Okay, Stairway to Heaven, one of Steven's favorites, obviously based on his comments.
I'd rather fucking put lemon in my eyes.
Why It Nearly Wins, the most patient intro ever recorded, according to ChatGPT. Proof that an intro.
To me, their best intro is Immigrant Song, which is the least patient intro of all.
That's my favorite. I'm not a Zeppelin fan, but I can certainly appreciate what they've done. But Immigrant Song, which I was first introduced to from Dark Angel, when I think Time Does Not Heal, Stephen, I think was on that record.
I think so.
And I go, okay, well, that's cool. Next, and I got 3 more on here. These are, again, according to ChatGPT, Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses. No comment. We'll move on.
I'd like to throw up on that, but anyway.
Yeah. Enter Sandman, Metallica.
I can see that.
I get it.
Touted as the ultimate gateway metal intro. Yeah, it introduced a lot of people to, good or bad.
Wasn't that where everybody said they just became commercial with that song?
But then
I thought it was a
brought
good
in
song.
A ton of new fans, right?
Yeah.
That never would have been exposed to them.
Yeah.
Both I think can be the case. Crazy Train, Ozzy.
Yeah.
And War Pigs, Black Sabbath.
There you go.
Well, War Pigs was in the top 5, right?
Yeah.
So I think our calling of that being the greatest is legitimized to a degree.
I think it is. Yeah.
Well, we got a quarter of them, right? So or a third.
Yeah.
You know, our general consensus aligns with ChatGPT.
I can't believe no one came up with For Whom the Bell Tolls, because to me, for Metallica, that is the greatest intro they ever had.
Well, that goes along with Hell's Bells, right? With that big old gong or bell that they play in the beginning, which I
I mean, that's just, I don't know. That was the great. I don't know. I'm not the most mammoth Metallica fan of all time. I love early Metallica, but God, if you take one, or you take, there's so many other songs.
There are a lot. Yeah.
They're an intro band. Maiden's an intro band. AC/DC's an intro band.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, again, we could have whole shows on every one of those bands and do this.
I think so. Yeah,
for sure.
Well, you know, I think we hit it all. I don't know. Any last ones you want to mention, or do you think we kind of tapped it out? Anything else?
No, I feel like we hit.
I have one more.
Yeah, please.
One more.
Let's hear it.
Rush YYZ.
Okay.
Yeah. Another great intro band, honestly.
Yeah.
You know,
out of all of them, I just had to throw that in. It's kind of like what do you call it? Scott, an honorary mention.
Honorable mention.
Mention. Thank you.
Yeah.
My roots were originally.
So here's a teaser question before we go.
Yeah.
To set up the riff episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
From time to time, I work in the wood business, so rift oak keeps creeping into my brain when I want to say riff. I'm sorry, but I would consider Limelight a riff opening.
Yeah, it is
by Rush.
It is.
and not an intro opening song.
No, it's riff for sure.
Do we kind of agree on that?
I totally agree.
Okay, so that's
a riff.
That's the teaser for the riff episode.
I like that. Go. Yeah, definitely. That would be a riff, and greatest riff of all time.
I'm going to write down on a piece of paper what I think the top riff song will be for all three of us, and I bet we agree on it. I bet it at least makes the top 3 for every one of us. So I'm going to put it in an envelope, and I'm going to open it back up.
There we go.
I like the show.
Time capsule.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, cool, guys.
Stuff.
That was fun. Yeah, that was cool, kind of cool to go through that. Again, talking, putting episodes out, every week. Chris, you're welcome, obviously, every time we get together. So hopefully
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me on. This is awesome.
Without a doubt, it's fun.
You can check us out on YouTube, on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. I was thinking for a second. Anywhere you can stream. TikTok, yeah. Go to TikTok. We'll share some of those comments. Getting a lot of views.
I want to see those basketball.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see those too.
Yeah, there were some funny ones. There wasn't a ton, but the funny ones, just like okay, are you guys jerks? Which probably are. But,
whatever.
Everybody can have an opinion. That's fine. But I would say until next time. Leave comments on this. Let us know what you think. And guys,
aloha, Mr. Hand.
Yeah. Aloha, Mr. Hand. I know that dude.
See you guys later.
Thanks again for tuning in to the show. We'll be back every week with a brand new episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Talking SHHH, and also listen on Spotify or wherever you can stream podcast. See ya.